Hi guys, it's Jo here, IBS Specialist Dietitian from Everyday Nutrition. Today I wanted to give you my top six tips for Fodmap stacking. So we get lots and lots of questions about Fodmap stacking. Just quickly before I jump into it, Fodmap stacking is when you have two foods that have low FODMAP serves, but both become high FODMAP in the same FODMAP group. And stacking, in theory, is when you put these two foods together, they stack on top of each other, and they then become high FODMAP. A little example of this would be something like broccolini and sugar snap peas. Both of them have low FODMAP serves, but both of them at larger serves become high FODMAP in excess fructose. So the theory is if you put these together, you will go over your threshold for excess fructose. Rule of thumb in this situation from Monash is that you can have one full serve and you can have one half serve. So you could do your full serve of broccolini and a half serve of sugar snap peas, or vice versa, and that would still be considered within FODMAP parameters. So tips to avoid FODMAP stacking. First of all, FODMAP stacking is talked about way more than the impact that it actually has. So in my experience, FODMAP stacking is seldom an issue. FODMAP cutoffs are actually super conservative to account for this. So my number one tip is if your gut is well settled, forget about it. Do not even think about FODMAP stacking. If your gut is settled and you're following a low FODMAP diet, you are doing what is right for you and you are achieving the goal of this, which is to calm your gut. My second tip to avoid FODMAP stacking. So if this is something that you are concerned about, start by filling up your plate with Fodmap-Free Foods. So there are a whole lot of foods out there that do not contain FODMAPs and can be eaten in really quite large amounts before you eat, without being an issue in terms of FODMAPs. I'm talking about things like strawberries, carrots, rice, potatoes, cheese, lactose-free milk, meat, eggs, chicken, fish. All of those foods do not contain any FODMAPs and can be eaten in large serves, so they're a great way to fill up your plate so that you're not going hungry. Tip number 3, when you're making a meal, try to include 3 or 4 different food groups on your plate. So if you've got something starchy, you've got a protein, and you've got some vegetables, you're crossing 3 different food groups. Not only is this more balanced from a nutritional point of view, and it's going to likely be more satisfying and leave you satisfied for longer after your meal, but FODMAPs also tend to cluster in groups of foods. So things like fructose, sorbitol, and mannitol tend to be in your fruits and vegetables. Things like fructans tend to be in things like your grains and your starches. Proteins don't contain FODMAPs, so again, that's a great one to include on your plate. That isn't going to be an issue in terms of FODMAPs. So that is going to leave you less likely to stack your foods. Tip number 4 is to space your meals over the day. So you can actually have a low FODMAP serve of a food every 3 to 4 hours. So if you're having really satisfying meals and snacks through the day, you should be able to have sort of a 3 to 4 hour break in between meals. And that's going to reset your FODMAP so that you can then start again in terms of your FODMAP serves. If you find that you get hungry at about that 2 hour mark, have a think back to the foods that you had at your last meal and choose foods that have different FODMAP groups in them if you're wanting to eat again at that 2 hour mark. And that way you're sort of alternating your FODMAP serves through the day. Tip number 5 or 6, I've lost count. This one's about mindful eating. Chew your food really well. Digestion starts in the mouth. Enjoy your meals in a calm and enjoyable environment. So reducing that stress level, enjoying your food, that's going to go a long way towards calming your gut and feeling better about your food afterwards. So that one's a little bonus tip. It helps with FODMAPs, but it helps for enjoyment. It helps for your food relationship as well. If you are doing all of these things and you're getting really good results, congratulations, you're doing great. If you're doing all those things and you're still not getting results, or things start to look a little bit inconsistent, give us a yell. Myself and the dietitians who work with me, so Angela, Liz and Jasmine, are all specialists in terms, they're all Fodmap trained, they're all experienced in other types of food intolerances as well, and we would love to help you do a little bit of troubleshooting and get to the bottom of what's going on so that you can start to enjoy your life and enjoy food again. Have a great day.